Morning guys, welcome back to another video. Just a little, I wouldn't say a heads up, but just a few things have changed over the last week or so. My cousin, he's actually probably in, if he's not in surgery yet, he is very soon. Last week, early in the week, Mum and Dad rang up. They'd been up in North Island holidaying with my auntie and uncle, cruising around their campers, and they took some old motorbikes up there earlier on, done some rallies and bits and pieces, and then they left it at somebody's house. But anyway, they rang me up and said my cousin, who's basically, he's not quite a year younger than me, we're at the same age for a few weeks each year, but yeah, he's got diagnosed. He's been sort of feeling a wee bit off colour, and he just thought he was run down, but he was diagnosed with a tumour in the frontal lobe in his brain, and we sort of thought, oh yeah, okay, it must be just something small for a start off. When they sort of, I can't remember if it was Monday or Tuesday or something like that, they said that he wasn't he'd been admitted into one of the hospitals a couple of hours away, one of the bigger ones in the South Island, and that he had a tumour that was growing in his frontal lobe. Since found out it's quite large. Well, from what I understand, it's full-blown cancer. And if the surgery doesn't go well today, he might only have, maybe a year or more to live. Obviously it's pending, but yeah, so it doesn't sound very good. I went away duck shooting with him 3 or 4 weeks ago, start of May, so we're basically the last day of May, I think now. So yeah, like the first weekend, we went duck shooting, so it's only 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, whatever it was, 4 weeks ago. Yeah, and he said then that he'd sort of been feeling a bit off colour, and he still is basically normal himself, but he just said he hadn't been feeling very good, and he'd been sort of dealing with a few headaches and bits and pieces. So yeah, so unfortunately it's turned into something quite serious, because apparently, I don't know, it must have been in the last couple of weeks, he must have been like vomiting a lot and all that sort of thing. So obviously they looked into it fairly urgently, and yeah, he basically, from where he lives, which is like Central Otago, New Zealand, basically they said, yeah, you're going straight to Dunedin Hospital, which is one of the bigger ones in the bottom half of the South Island. Yeah, and I've obviously done tests and bits and pieces here, and he's meant to be in surgery within the next few minutes of me recording this, if you know what I mean. I think it's 9:30 or 9 o'clock this morning or something like that, so it's not quite 9 now. So yeah, I'm praying for him big time, because they said it's quite a possibility of him not being the same person when he comes out of surgery, depending on obviously what they find when they get in there. They can obviously see it with all the modern scans and stuff, MRIs and all that sort of thing. I don't know, like there's that many different scanning things, I don't know which one they would have used, but I can guess it would be MRI or CAT scan or whatever they use nowadays, that they can get a really good picture of what's going on. So yeah, apparently it could affect his speech, and it may, if they can get it out, if they can get what they can get out, without doing any obviously damage to his brain, they said he'll be normal, which is, like, I don't know what the chances are of being fine and and not what he has been for the last 45 years, 46 years. Yeah, so like, I don't know what the chances are of things going really wrong, but I suppose when you're going inside the frontal lobe of the brain, like, it's, who knows. I've heard of some people that have gone through similar sort of things and come out the other side really well, and I'm obviously on a good recovery, but if things don't go well, yeah, who knows, he might only have, they were talking sort of 15, 18 months if things didn't go well and they couldn't get it and the treatments didn't work. So yeah, he's hoping. So unfortunately, that puts me in two minds of going through the States at the moment, because basically, because he's such close in age, and him and his brother, who's about a year younger than him again, right from kids, like I'm talking, sort of 4, 5, 6 year olds, probably even younger than that. Like, I don't really remember being like, 2 or 3 much, but yeah, like it's my dad's side of the family, so that side of the family was really, really, really close. We spent a lot of time together, and basically because we spent so much time together as like little kids, basically carried on right through our teenage years and our younger adulthood up until basically sort of started branching in different directions, I guess. His younger brother went to Australia at the end of the 90s. We hung together for quite a long time. Obviously, works and family life, you sort of drift apart a little bit, but we still seen a lot of each other really regularly. And then up until the time I went to Australia, the first time I went to Australia in 2009, we still kept in contact a lot. Probably not quite so much in recent times, but basically from kids till we're probably 25, 26, even into our early 30s, we were always at each other's houses, fixing cars, doing whatever, painting cars, modifying, changing gearboxes, especially in the early days, changing gearboxes and diffs and all sorts of things like that, rebuilding motors. That's just what we did. There's an old group of us. We bought a couple of old cars that we used to cruise around in, so we weren't driving around in our normal everyday car. We'd buy a couple of old, things that were probably worth $20,000 or $30,000 now. We just drove them around and did all the things that you used to do. We done all that together, so it really sucks. So if things aren't going well, like I'd like to spend the last of his time here with him, hopefully that doesn't happen. So, but if things look really, really good, and his recovery looks promising, and if we get the opportunity to be able to go to the States, I'm still going to go to the States initially, maybe just for a short period, and maybe do a little bit of stuff with Arco and Heidi, just to see how things go, and then obviously just to keep an eye on what's going on with my cousin, because it's not a nice thing to happen. So anyway, we'll get into today. So I think I'm just going to have a clean up for a start off, and then we'll work out what I'm going to do from here. So I've had my clean up, just a general tidy up, sweep the floors, whatever. Had a bit of a quick blow down. So I think what I might do next is just crank up the welder and just add the extra material on here down to, I don't know, probably even down to here somewhere, just to close this gap up a wee bit. And then obviously I'll make a shim for the top hinge just to kick it out a little bit at the top. It's just in a little bit far. Like I said the other day, it just needs that thickness of panel steel behind that hinge. I've got a little bit too, obviously, I've taken a little bit much timber out of here, but that's no biggie. Like just one of those little shims will fix that, and that'll also kick the bottom of this door in a little bit. It's pretty good at the top, it just needs to kick in a little bit at the bottom. So that'll fix that problem. And then obviously I've got to tweak the corner of that door out a little bit, hopefully, and then when I kick the top of that in, that'll come in, and I might just have to do a little bit of tweaking on the bottom just to get the bottom of that door just to kick in a wee bit at the bottom, just right at the bottom edge. It looks like it might be sticking out a little far. So I'll do this one first, and then I think this is okay. I might try and see if I can get a little bit of weaving, just see if I can work at some point, just work this panel back edge in a little bit, just to try and increase that gap around the actual arch a little bit. It's obviously got a bit of body filler in there too, somebody's put in there at some point, to try and even the door up. So I'll work a little bit on that once I get that one finished. I think this is what I'll just do next. I'll And once I've done those, I'll come around here and I'll make a sliver of wood from behind here and try and push that panel out. And then that gap needs closed up. It's too big. Just mainly it probably needs a bit of material down here and then around here, because the rest of it's okay. Well, that gap there's okay, and it's not bad here at the top. It needs filled at the bottom. And then this door here, to be honest, is fairly good. Yeah, it's probably not a lot really to do with that one. But yeah, that needs some material put on it as well. So we'll start with the one where if we just finished rebuilding. Do that one first, get that one right. And yeah, we'll go around. But what I might do, I might just go around with a marker and just write a few little notes so I don't forget to do something while I'm thinking about it. But I'll do that off camera. Righty, so what I've written on here, I said add shim to top hinge. I've also written down here, it's got to come out, but wait until I've added the shim at the top, just to kick that corner out, just to see what I need to do there. And I've basically got to add material along here, and about 2 or 3 mil just in the top edge, and then taper it down to here. And then obviously make sure it's fully flat and even. So basically I'll just go along and just start tacking that up with the welder. Come along and just add a few tacks and then just slowly grind it off, and then maybe add a little bit more and whatever. So we'll do that. I've done that 3 times over the years, but not a lot. You know, it's another thing I haven't really done a lot of. I've done it a little bit, but not a lot. But basically just keep adding little spots of weld until you're happy, and then just grind it off and add a little more to clean it up and whatever, and just take your time, go nice and slow. It's no rush, because if you go too fast, then all of a sudden you just distort all the rest of your panel and make a mess. So it's just as easy just to go slow. Even use an ear or a cold rag or wet rag just to keep the heat out of it. That should be right before we get there. So. Rough cleaner. Hold on to it. That fit back on the car and we'll be back. Right, so I didn't write about taking the over there, but basically it needs another layer from here down all the way to here. Just if I just run another one across the top of what I've got. Like I won't worry about adding from like the extra layers of this, just run one down the top, and that should be getting close, I think. And then we'll give it another wee dress up, and we'll do another test fit, and then if one, hopefully it might be just minor little pieces for just maybe a wee bit of hand filing. Body file. test fit, see what we look like, and obviously we can finish dressing it up and whatever. We'll do the next bit. Right, so I got that. That looks pretty good, though. I think the rest will come up with obviously a little bit of panel filing and you know, obviously just paint and body filler and whatever else. Any other little imperfections. Obviously, you know, it needs a clean up, but I think anything else will it'll get with material built up on top of it. So I now need to make that hinge for the shim for the hinge, and then obviously tweak that bottom corner and that bottom corner, and obviously hope that sits up there. Yeah, I might just add a couple little spot welds up here just to square this corner up, but apart from that I think the rest of it will just come out with a panel file, and then obviously material, you know, high build and body filler and whatever else we can fix up any other little imperfections once we've given it a clean up. I think the rest of it will be fine. Yeah, then we can work on something else, which is probably this one here, and we'll try and get that. See if I can maybe hammer that edge back a little bit. Yeah, maybe hammer it back and maybe just give it just a gentle, a light grind with a grinder, and just take a little bit of material off without trying to make it too thin. But yeah, I'll whip that off again. We'll make up a shim, and actually I'll make a shim and I'll just bring it over and flick it on, then I don't have to unscrew that bottom hinge again in the meantime. Alrighty, we'll make a shim. Right, so obviously going to do something similar to this, to what I've done for the other one. I'll give this a clean up around here, get rid of the body filler, well, the worst of the body filler and stuff like that. So what I just did, I just checked the footage just to see where that mark was before. Now that I ground it off. Just wanted to see what I was doing. Handy thing of videoing. Righty, so I think that's closed those gaps up enough. Could possibly maybe run another bead down the back of there, but I think by the time we do paint and body filler and everything like that, I don't think it'll close the gap up a little bit anyway. Now with the, the little material on there. So yeah, I think we'll leave it and revisit it if we need to. I think it's pretty good. Like none of the gaps are going to be dead even on this car anyway, because it's a wooden frame. It's very hard to get everything dead exact. I think you'd spend like months and months and months just chasing the little things. So that's cool. I'm fairly happy with that at the door. That just needs just a general clean up now. I had a little play with that gap. I've given it a little grind. I might do a little bit more to it after lunch or something like that. Just see what the time's like. I'm pretty happy with that. I just might add a little material up here and just square that up a little bit, just right in that top corner. I might, no, let's try to get a lock on there now. I put the door lock on there to see how it caught before. Where's me handle? Just haven't drilled the handle through there. I just wanted to make sure it closed the right and all that sort of stuff. Let's put the catch on. What was I going to say now? I've lost my train of thought. Oh, the bottom edge on the timber, I might just give that a wee bit of a sand layer at some point. I'll just have to right on there. It's just rubbing. It's not really, but it is, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it's not bad, but yeah, I know it's just catching it. So just take a little bit of just a wee bit of material off the bottom of that wood, just so it's not catching. But I'm pretty happy with it. We'll have another wee tweak with this corner of the door yet. So we've shimmed that. It's not bad. I might just have to dolly that edge out a little bit or something. But man, that door fits nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Like for making first full door. I think I did a pretty good job. So what next? I'll wait think about it after lunch. May start attaching radiator and that. Still got to do. But yeah, I keep forgetting about that. I need to write on there. I keep forgetting. I need to have a wee play with that, see if I can get that freaking stupid bit of flatness out of there and just push this out. Slip a little bit of material underneath there. So yeah, I'll write on that now while I remember, and hopefully after lunch or something like that I'll tack that. Just write on there, otherwise I'll forget. There's a pen. I'll just write fix on there. If I don't get it after lunch, at least I'll see it and I'll remember. Fix. Alright, sweet. Righto. We'll talk to you later on. Cheers. Righty, so I didn't actually get back here yesterday. Just with everything that's going on, I was more concentrating on that, and I did a bit of video editing when I got home. Yesterday's stuff mainly, but still greasy. Freaking camera lens on. Don't know if it's better or better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get into this piece, make a little piece of timber and see if we can get it up underneath there. There's a little bit of a gap, it's not terribly big. I should be able to hopefully slide just a nice little slither with a little radius on it. I'll have a quick measure up and see how sort of roughly how long I want it. I'm guessing sort of probably about that sort of long. And just have a look at, just go from nothing to about that thick and then to nothing again, and just slip it in here and see if it fixes what I want it to fix. So that should be pretty simple. Just a matter of trying to get it up underneath the timber. And there's actually more of a gap on that side, because on this side there's almost nothing here I can feel, but on that side you actually can almost tuck like the tips of your fingers in around here. Yeah. So that's a good sign. So at least I should be able to actually get it up in there, and then hopefully with a, I don't know, with a punch or something, I might be able to hopefully push it up in there. I'll make it at a reasonable depth, so I've got plenty to push up there with, you know, like make it out of something like that. There's bits of scrapery though, but I'll sort something out. I'll get it, have a quick measure up, cut something, and come back to you when I've done it. What I wanted was something like that. Hopefully that's enough. See if we can get it in there without destroying it, obviously. That'll be the fun bit. So let's see if we can get it in there. I'll actually just cut it off the piece that I screwed up for that back of that door that had that gentle shape in it. I just cut a slither off that. It was already the right shape on the outside roughly, so anyway, we'll see if we can get it in there. Let's see if we can get on there. Alright, so we want to try and tuck it up and see if we can get it.
Audio Jungle.
Sweet. It'll work. Still not 100%, it's got a bit of a dent in there and whatever, but it's only going to be a smear body filler now. That's made quite a difference, just the way that transitions into that door. That's cool. Awesome. Just re-drill and new nails. Try and show you if I can. So it used to sit very flat here, but now that's forced out. The rest of it will just come with a wee bit of body filler, but it's still a little bit bent in here. But at least the rest of it's right. It's only just going to be wee squeaky body filler across there, and just to, you know, true things up. Should be right. It's nice, awesome. One more job sorted. Now I had some nails the other day. I'll go see if I can find them and tack this on. Alrighty guys, so just going to go on a wee excavation dig. So on here, this is the brackets that hold the grill stable to the, obviously to the firewall, or the, what do you want to call it? Yeah, here. So on here, there's meant to be some brackets on here. I just had a quick look at that, but I'll go take it over there and show you, because I'm trying to work out how to obviously attach the radiator and grill and hood or bonnet or whatever you want to call it. So go over and have a wee look. just see how this all works, because this is the closest thing I've got, even though it's a slightly later model. It's basically the same thing. So it's got this X bracket, obviously goes through there. Whether it's exactly the same on that other thing, I don't know, because it looks like it's got the rods went into there, and then obviously something like that screws on, because there's some big steel or big cast braces that come up in here, which that seems to hook into, from what I can work out. So yeah, we'll see what I can work out there, I guess. God, I hate that fucking fencing thing. People keep asking me, what's all that knocking sound in the back? That fucking thing. Unfortunately, because there's stocks in the paddock around here, it's got to be on. But anyway, so this is this is another grill shell, but it's of a different year. So yeah, like they hook in through these. I think this one's a little bit different from memory, just we've never looked at that before. I think the rods come straight out instead of on the angle, don't they? Oh no, it might be the same. Yeah, they are the same. So it's obviously got like a little pin that goes through it and then goes cross to cross. So yeah, we've got to work all that out. And then I've also got to try and find, I guess, the brackets that screw in here. So we'll have a look, see if I can find them. Because this piece here is for where obviously where the pin on the bonnet pin goes on in the centre. As you can see, near in the centre of that, it's got the same thing. So like it's got the rod goes for the bonnet, or the hood, for each side, and then it's got the two brackets. So I thought they might have just went straight front to back, but it's obviously an X. Well, I'm assuming it's an X. Like they could have changed that too. It could have been a rod on each side, but not on this, if you know what I mean. Or an X and not. I'm guessing they're the same, but because that's a 27, that's a 25, so there is differences. But right, I'll see if I can find what I want, and I'll come back to you. Righty, I reckon I worked this out. I reckon it had like a Y bracket that went to each side. So instead of having the crisscross on the 25s, like the 26 and obviously on, because I just had a look at the footage of that other guy's car, and this has got the brackets on here. Well, this has got that centre bracket, so it's obviously like a Y to each side. So yeah, it's interesting. So I have to work out what we're going to do there. Well, I'm getting somewhere. I'm winning, but I'm not winning. So it's sitting there. If I figured out there's a for this, it's got a single rod. Obviously, it could have those. I assume, I don't know, unless it goes back to another mount somewhere else. But it's just sitting there like I've got no mounts. No mounting down here at all. I see on this here it's got cutaways for something to be bolted down, but I don't see anywhere for it to be bolted into the cross member, if you know what I mean. But there's bracketry on here, that metal bracket, so obviously something bolts to that. But where and how and why, I don't know. So I might have to have a dig on that other thing and see if I can clear the crap out of there to see down in there, just to see what I can see. So yeah, I need to find a nut to stick on here too, just so this can't fall off, if you know what I mean. So yeah, so we're getting there, slowly getting there. So once I've got that figured out, at least then I could possibly sit the hood on. I don't really want to sit that on there until I know that it's had anchor, because it's had a lot of money spent on it. So I don't want to damage it, if you know what I mean. So I'll go have a wee dig and see if I can clear some shit out of, because these actually, sorry, change the subject again. That's one of the old, I think that's the old piece that was off the front and they've remade it. But it's sort of so damaged you can't really sort of see how or what things were meant to be. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Well, this is actually the, figured out, I reckon this is out of the fuel tank, I think. But I'll have to have another look at that. Yeah, see it's got those brackets on there for the, which I assume where the radiator mounts to or hooks to or something. Something went through it anyway. So we'll have a clean out of this other one. I'll grab a couple of screwdrivers and we'll have a dig over and around that bottom of that radiator because it's full of silt and shit and dirt and crap from obviously rats and mice and whatever else. We'll go have a wee dig over there so we can clear some crap out of there. Do some more investigation, I guess. No, that doesn't tell me a thing. Anyway. So we're back over at the other car. Yeah, I don't know. I need to work it out, I suppose. Let's see down here. I don't know if you can see there or not. So it's got, pretty sure where there's holes there that line up with this. But there's nothing in the steel brace. Like there's just these mounts here that I don't see where that actually picks up. Or does it just bolt to this? And then this bolts down? I don't know. Just doesn't seem sensible to be just hanging off, you know, a bit of panel steel. I thought it would have been at least anchored to the cross member, if you know what I mean, like on a rubber mount or something. But I don't know. Yeah. Makes it awkward to see. Anyway, we'll work it out. Alrighty, so just made a little discovery. Just I'll give this quick wire brush. It's been repaired, so these holes have probably been filled at some point. They're in that early part of the restoration before I got it. Because he said he couldn't remember whether it had been welded up or not. But he said it was quite possible. Because this frame was had a bit of work done to it and then it was sandblasted and whatever. And now, unfortunately, because it's been sitting, it's dirty and whatever else for a long time. That's sort of made it hard to tell, but you can see where this has been. It's had some patching and repairing and whatever. So I might actually kind of clean this up a bit better. Because you can see where it's been, you know, it's had some holes, pinholes and bits and pieces in the weld and it hasn't been finished and cleaned off properly. So yeah, I need to re-drill those holes for that bottom of that radiator. That makes sense. So that makes a big difference. I was trying to work out, like, how the heck was that held in there? I was like, surely it couldn't have been attached to that piece of sheet metal, but no, that makes sense. So I need to find some sort of bolt or it, and it's probably had studs in there, I reckon, and possibly like a rubber pad or something like that, and then that would have sat on top of that that sheet metal piece that would have sat on top of that, and then it would have went through, and then I'll see some big nuts or something from underneath. So we need to figure that out now. Figure out what thread they are and size bolts and everything they are. So we'll do that, and then I can work out the placement and the holes and yeah. Alrighty, so I'm just looking at this radiator and grill and the shower and whatever. So to be honest, I don't know if this is meant to sit like this. You can see it, like it's got a big gap there and a small one there. This is a little bit damaged and bent. It's not bad, but so I'm guessing that's not square and true, which is a bit of a pain. Would have been nice to see that before they put it together. Like, obviously it can come apart, you can take the guts out of it. But yeah, it would have been nice to see that first up and realised that's what it was like, because I could have probably straightened it and everything and made sure it worked together. But this is, I think, this is the piece that I fixed or repaired. I made 2 out of 1, I think, and put it all back together, and it's one of the first pieces I think I repaired for the car, was the whatever side, I think it's this one here, where it's been, where I welded the top piece back on it and made it fit and straightened it all out. But yeah, so yeah, drill holes in here, but I really need to work out that first and get it fitting. I think because these threads are a little bit damaged in here too. I don't think this is the right bolt, but I think this is the right thread. Just looking at it, I think it's, if it's not, it's close. So what I might do is try and find out what thread this bolt is, because it looks like it will go in there. You know, obviously with a wee bit of help and probably cleaning the threads up and running a tap and everything through it. Looks like it, yeah, looks like it sort of kind of wants to go in there. But I also think I need to try and straighten this bloody surround out first. So I don't think it's meant to be twisted like that. I wouldn't imagine so. Because problems, my reference stuff isn't very good. So yeah, whether that does sit higher one side than the other, I'd have to do some measurements, I guess. But yeah, so I'm going to have to panel beat that anyway, and it's going to have to be pretty good, because I think this is going to be chromed. I'm pretty sure that these were chrome, they're grill shells, like that one over there, but it's the wrong model for this particular vehicle. But yeah, so I need to try and fix that, see if I can get that to fit properly. So I'll probably pull that apart, and obviously work out what it needs to be, which will make it damn sight easier to try and drill the holes to make it fit. And it actually leaves me that bracket on there, so I can still fit the shell without the radiator in it. Hide that somewhere really, really carefully and nicely, since it's had all this work done on it, so I don't want it damaged. And obviously the fins in it are the grill, if you know what I mean. So like if you damage these pieces on the other side, it damages the grill. So it's a bit of it's an interesting situation how they did it. I'll just set the phone up there and I'll stand it up to show you. You've probably seen it before, but yeah, I might have realised. So yeah, these pieces here are actually the grill. And it's, you know, it's got little bits of damage, but it's interesting how they did that. Like they didn't actually have like a wire, or like a grill actually went over the top of this. This is the grill. It's got a shell, and then the actual radiator is the grill. So anyway, so I need to try and straighten this up, and obviously make it fit properly, and then put this back in it. So we'll do that, which will make it easier to work out the holes. So I might as well do this, I suppose. These here probably need shortened up a million miles, those bolts, because they're way too long. Anyway, so I was about to do that, and then I realised I better check with Tom. It's actually lunchtime, so I'll shoot home and have something cooked early to eat, and I'll come back and try and pull this apart and at least work out what I'm doing next. So yeah, it's had a bit of a funny day, a lot of fluffing around, just trying to work things out. I suppose that's what happens when you've got a whole mess of pieces and different models sitting around, and they're all a little bit different. It takes a wee while to figure out what's going on. But anyway, we'll get there. Yeah, we'll see you after lunch, hopefully. Alright guys, I've decided I might just leave this piece for the next video, because with editing and everything, I've got quite a bit of footage. Did a lot of talking in the last few bits and pieces. So I've decided that I'll start stripping this down and do that fresh in the next video. So we'll catch you later on. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe and all those sorts of things. And if you want to help support the channel, there's the Buy Me a Coffee, which is, it's $5 a coffee, which basically goes through to my PayPal. And obviously Teespring as well. So if you want to buy like a t-shirt or a cup or a mug, or drink bottle or hoodie or whatever, sweatshirt, whatever you want to call them. There's a few other bits and pieces there too, some stickers and stuff like that. So if you want to help support the channel, especially till I get monetised, and after obviously as well, with buying merch and stuff, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're getting closer and closer all the time to getting monetised, but I'm still short a couple of hundred subscribers. So I'm getting close. I'm thinking about 745 or somewhere around about that sort of figure. So yeah, keep subs coming. Much appreciated, all the new guys that have come along in the last few months and whatever. But yeah, all right, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.